Okay, so the last thing we're going to be talking about is parallel and perpendicular lines. Now, as a reminder, when we have two sets of parallel lines, right, we have a parallel line here and then a line that's parallel to it, their slopes are the same, are equal, right? They're the exact same thing. So, for example, this first problem we're looking at says we're looking at a line that's parallel to 3x minus 1, which means the slope of my new line is equal. It's going to be 3, right? And then the other thing we can talk about is perpendicular. Okay, so when we have a perpendicular line, right? Okay, perpendicular form a 90-degree angle, right? Right there, 90-degree angle. And so their slopes are opposite reciprocal. Okay, they're opposite reciprocals, meaning that, for example, we're looking at number 3 there. We have a line that has a slope of 1/2. Its opposite reciprocal would be negative, and then we flip the fraction 2 over 1. So the slope of my perpendicular line is -2. Okay, so that's going to help us. So again, we have to find a slope, and then they give us a point, right? So we put it in point slope form, and then we can manipulate it into slope intercept form. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at these. All right, so the first one, we're looking for a line that's parallel to that one. So right away, I know my slope is 3. Then it's through the point for -3. So that's my x1, y1. So let's put it in point slope form to start. So it's going to be y minus y1 is -3 is equal to my slope 3 times x minus 4. Okay, now that I have that, I can manipulate it, right? 3 times x and 3 times -4. So I end up getting y plus 3 is equal to 3x, and then 3 times -4 is -12. Okay, so once I know that, then what I can do is I can subtract 3, and I get y equals 3x, and then -12 minus 3 is -15. Okay, so now I'm looking at a line that's parallel to -1/4 x plus 3. So I know right away my slope is -1/4. Okay, and then my point x1, y1 is 2, 6. Okay, so we're going to put it into point slope form. We say y minus 6 is equal to -1/4 times the quantity x minus 2. All right, so now I do the exact same thing. I distribute that -1/4. I distribute the -1/4, and I get y minus 6 is equal to -1/4 x. And then -1/4 times a -2 is positive, but it's positive 1/2. Now I'm going to keep it as a fraction because I have 1/4 as a fraction, so I'm going to keep that half as a fraction. Now the next step, okay, or final step, is I need to add 6 to it. Now again, I'm adding 6 to 1/2, and so if I add 6, I got to think of it as like 6 over 1. And when you add fractions, they have to have common denominators. So this is really like adding 12 over 2, right? Because 12 over 2 is the same as 6 over 1. So these cancel out. And my slope intercept is y equals -1/4 x. And then 1/2 plus 12 halves is plus 13 halves. Now, if you wrote it as a fraction, that's totally fine. Or as a decimal, that's cool too. So 13 halves would be 7.5. So either one is correct. Totally fine with that. Excuse me, not 7.5. It'd be 6.5. Okay? All right. All right, let's try question number 3. We're looking for a line that's perpendicular to 1/2 x minus 5 and through the point -5, 2. So if it's perpendicular, I know that it's going to be an opposite reciprocal. So opposite means it's going to be negative, and reciprocal flips it. So 2 over 1, I'll just write it as 2. So we also have an x1, y1, right? So we just plug the numbers into my equation. So y minus 2 is equal to -2 times the quantity x minus -5. Okay, so now I have my problem, right? Again, what do we do every time? Distribute, and I get y minus 2 is equal to -2x, and then -2 times 5 would be -10. Okay, So almost done. Just have to add 2, and I get y equals negative 2x, and then negative 10 plus 2. Negative 10 plus 2 would be negative 8. All right, very good. Okay, final problem. Perpendicular line to 3x. So perpendicular, again, opposite. So ours was positive, so we're going to have negative. And reciprocal, 3 over 1. We'll write it as 3 over 1, right? Okay, 3 over 1. I flip it, it's going to be 1/3. So my slope is now negative 1/3. Okay, and I have the point for negative 2. So I put my equation together. So y minus negative 2 is equal to negative 1/3 times x minus 4. Okay, x1, 4. Like we've done every other one, we distribute negative 1/3, distribute negative 1/3, and I get y plus 2 is equal to negative 1/3 x, and then negative 1/3 times negative 4 is a positive 4/3. Okay? So now that I have 4/3, again, this is really close to what I want. The last thing I have to do is to subtract that 2, right? Minus 2. Now the only thing that's different, okay, with 4/3 and 2 is, remember, I think of this as 2 over 1. And I need to add fractions with common denominators. So I'm going to subtract, and I want the bottom to be 3. So if I want the bottom to be 3, I multiply by 3. I want the top to be different, so I do 3 times 2, and that's going to be 6. Okay? So these cancel out. 6 over 3 is 2, we know that. And so our final answer that we arrive at is y equals negative 1/3 x, and then 4/3 minus 6/3 is minus 2/3. All right, so I hope this helped. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, feel free to email me or mention it in the next live session or whatever, okay? All right, good luck.